What is up, guys? Delboy here. So this weekend, Dmitry Bivol is defending his WBA light heavyweight title against Joe Smith Jr. And I wanted to do a quick preview for this fight. Now, Dmitry Bivol is an overwhelming favourite in this fight. He's expected to win, and he's expected to win clearly and decisively. With that being said, this is the type of fight where you don't want to go in there underestimating your opponent, because Joe Smith Jr. is the type of fighter that you don't want to do that against, because he can punch and he's aggressive and he's fairly durable. He comes to fight, he won't give up, and if you go in there with a bad attitude, if you go in there expecting to win, then maybe you could get upset. So Dmitry Bivol needs to remain professional. He can't get gassed, he can't get arrogant. Just rely on your boxing, rely on your skills, and he should come through this fight in one piece. But Bivol just needs to make sure he stays focused, because like I said, Joe Smith Jr. is not the type of fighter you want to play with. But if Bivol, remains focused and does what he does best, he should win this fight at a canter. Joe Smith Jr., as we know, he's an aggressive fighter. He likes to come forward. He likes to throw those big looping shots. He's got a good left hook. He's got a good right hand. And he'll try and apply pressure. He'll try and work the body. And he'll try and make it a dogfight. Joe Smith Jr., he's not a complicated fighter. He's fairly rudimentary. He's fairly basic. But, he does make up for that with heart, punching power and aggression. So he is a danger. He's always going to be a danger because he only needs that one shot. Ask Andre Fonfara. But skill for skill, I think he's a good matchup for Dmitry Bivol. Dmitry Bivol is a far better technician, far superior on the outside. He's a master outside boxer, and Joe Smith Jr. to me struggles on the outside. We saw that against Sullivan Barrera. Apart from the first round of that fight, Barrera had his way with Joe Smith Jr. He was making Joe Smith eat the jab. He was countering Joe Smith coming forwards with that long right hand. Dmitry Bivol can do the exact same thing that Sullivan Barrera did against Joe Smith Jr. And we saw what Dmitry Bivol did to Sullivan Barrera. I expect Bivol to find a home for his jab early on. I think as Joe Smith comes forwards, he's going to be eating that jab, and he's going to be walking into Dmitry Bivol's right hand, and he'll just end up getting outboxed. I think Bivol is far too advanced on the outside. His hands are too quick, and his foot movement, will give Joe Smith Jr. a lot of problems. I mean, like I said, Sullivan Barrera, he's a good outside boxer, but it's not like the guy is tremendously elusive, and Joe Smith still struggled to close the range against Sullivan Barrera. Against a fleet-footed guy like Dmitry Bivol, I think he's going to have nightmares, I really do. And when this fight was first made, I actually felt Joe Smith Jr. would go the distance, but thinking about it and having recently watched a couple of Bivol's fights again, I actually think Bivol will stop Joe Smith Jr. I think Joe Smith Jr. is going to be walking into far too many right hands, and eventually the accumulation of those accurate right hand counters will take its toll, and I think Joe Smith Jr. will get stopped late on. I think he'll walk onto one too many shots, and Bivol will take him out down the stretch. I know Bivol hasn't had a stoppage in his last couple of fights against Jean Pascal and Isaac Chilemba, but to me, Joe Smith Jr. offers far too much target. He gets hit far too often, and I think Bivol is accurate enough and he hits hard enough to take Joe Smith Jr. out. Isaac Chilemba, he's a great survivor. I wasn't surprised he went the distance. Jean Pascal historically has always had a great chin, and he's awkward. Wasn't surprised he went the distance. But Joe Smith Jr. gets hit a lot more than those guys. Defensively, he is very poor. And the more I think about it, the more I think Bivol will knock him out down the stretch. You know, Joe Smith Jr. only has a punchless chance in this fight. He needs to land that perfect shot. And, you know, when you carry the type of power he does, there's always that chance. You can't totally rule him out, but I think his chances in this fight are minimum. I really, really do. Bivol should win this fight. He should win it comfortably. And I'm expecting a pretty good performance, to be quite honest. All in all, is this the fight I wanted to see from Dmitry Bivol? No. Is it the worst stay busy title defense? No. You know, Joe Smith Jr., he is a contender. He can punch, like I said. But after this fight, I hope to see Bivol in some big fights at light heavyweight. Providing he beats Joe Smith Jr., I think Sergey Kovalev would be a great fight for him. I believe Kovalev is a free agent in terms of TV deals, so that fight could be makeable, and it would be a unification fight. Kovalev versus Bivol, in my opinion, makes a lot of sense. Other than that, the other fights at light heavyweight will be hard to make because Vodzik, Beterbiev, you know, those two guys are with Top Rank and ESPN. So are those guys going to fight on DAZN? I doubt it. And Marcus Brown, he's with the PBC. Is he going to fight on DAZN? I doubt it. So, you know, right now in the short term, providing Bivol beats Joe Smith Jr., I think Kovalev is arguably the most makeable fight for him, and I would love to see that fight. But yeah, share your thoughts below. What do you think of Dmitry Bivol versus Joe Smith Jr.? Are you disappointed? Did you expect more? And, you know, providing Dmitry Bivol wins this fight, where do you want to see him go next? Share your thoughts below. Peace.